All right, hopefully we are live and recording. My name is Ulysses Dennis. I'm an associate director and an advisor at Engineering Career Services. I want to welcome you to our workshop for preparing for the career fair. As many of you know, our fall virtual career fair is scheduled next week on Wednesday, September 9th and Thursday, September 10th. And my goal is to just give you a high level summary of the things that you need to be doing over the next several days to get ready for this event. There are some steps that you would take regardless of the platform, whether you were in person or at a virtual career fair. But then some steps this semester are going to be really critical because it's a brand new environment. And I'll be the first to let you know, for students, you're not alone in figuring this out. This is a new experience for career services as well as for the employers. But we have some things prepared today that I hope will help you get going in the right direction, give you some reassurance, and just help you be confident going into this experience. Another thing I want to share is that I actually started my career as a human resources professional in the area of campus recruiting. I had the privilege of working for Texas Instruments for several years, where I recruited a number of engineering students from a wide variety of engineering backgrounds. And so I'm also hoping to give you a few hacks that I've picked up over the years, having gone through many, many career fairs. As we go through this experience, I would ask you all to please use the chat bar to drop your questions in. I also want to just do another quick check to see if everybody can hear me. Thumbs up, please, if you can hear me all right. Okay, so it sounds like so far the volume is working well. If you have any challenges, please remember that we're recording this session and ECS will publish it, so you can always go back and review things that maybe didn't come across as clearly. So let's keep going. I really want to try to get through all of the slides within about 15 minutes and leave the last 15 minutes to answer questions and have some discussions, okay? So one of the things to keep in mind, if you've worked with ECS for any length of time, and if I've got any first year students on the video, a concept that you will hear us talk about constantly is career readiness. Whenever we do a workshop like this, we want you to take the core information that we're sharing and think about which career readiness skills it's helping you develop, right? Career readiness is just a different way of saying non-technical skills. You're getting a fantastic technical education at the Granger College of Engineering, but you've got to have some non-technical interpersonal skills to complement what you're learning in your classrooms and in your labs. So in this process of preparing for the career fair, you're going to be applying your critical thinking skills. You're going to be practicing your communication skills. In this setting, working with the Career Eco platform is going to give you a chance to further develop your digital technology skill. Not only that, you're going to pick up some additional opportunities to use your work ethic skills, and then also career management. So keep those things in mind as we're going through the steps to prepare, but also when you're at the career fair, remember that these are some of the things that experience of being at the career fair will help you to further develop. So we've organized this information into three main parts: what you need to do before the career fair, what you need to do on the day of the career fair, and then what you need to do after the career fair. Right now on the screen, we have a summary of the steps that you want to take before the career fair. First of all, as I mentioned, some things are going to be basic, whether it's a virtual fair or an in-person fair. One of the greatest tools that you have to communicate your skills to employers is going to be your resume. You absolutely need to make time to make sure that your resume is clearly communicating the skills that you want the recruiter to know about you. The resume is not meant to tell the whole life story of every positive academic or professional experience that you've had, but it's really a one-page summary that you want to put together to highlight certain things. Kind of an inside scoop based on my experience of having been a recruiter. You can imagine the number of resumes that any given company is going to receive at this event, right? Literally hundreds for any given position. It's critical that you make sure that your resume is clear, that it's formatted in a clean way, and that you make it as easy as possible for that recruiter to find the information that they need. This is not the time to be fancy, and special formatting is not the way to stand out. The way to stand out is to make it as fast as possible for the recruiter to check off what will be like a mental checklist of things that they want to see on the resume. There are so many resources that we've provided for you to do that. One of the best in my experience is to just book an appointment with an ECS advisor. We've added extra times over the next several days so that you can get in to see us and we can help you with that. But not only is your resume a critical tool, digital profiles like your Handshake profile and your LinkedIn profile are also going to be important. Later on in the presentation, I'll remind you of some things that you need to do after the career fair to connect with the new contacts that you will have made. Having an up-to-date Handshake profile and LinkedIn profile is going to make that process a lot easier. So these things should be at the top of the list as you're preparing. The next thing you want to do, this is a hack that is specific to being in a virtual career fair. Type out your elevator pitch, which is pretty much a 60-second version of your resume, right? Your resume is the written summary of your skills and experiences. Your elevator pitch is the verbal summary of your skills and experiences that you can deliver in 60 seconds or less. The primary way that you're going to be interacting with companies on this virtual platform is through a chat box. That's right. You're going to be typing to have conversations with recruiters. And instead of having to type that same elevator pitch multiple times and then trying to go back and make sure you don't have any typos and make sure that everything is grammatically correct, perfect it in a Word document, a Google Sheet, wherever you want to keep it. And that way, when you go into a chat room with a recruiter, you can just copy and paste it again and again. And if you need to make some minor adjustments so that your elevator pitch will tailor what that particular company is looking for, it'll be an easier and smoother process because you already have it typed out. In the same way, frequently asked questions. If there are a basic set of information that you would like to hear from every company that you want to talk to, go ahead and type those out. That'll give you a chance to make sure that everything is correct in terms of the spelling and the grammar. And again, you'll spend less time using your keyboard and more time just being engaged in the conversations that you're having. Another critical aspect of the virtual career fair is that you make time to test the platform. As I mentioned, Career Eco is new to just about all parties involved. The good news is there are 2 specific opportunities that are going to help you out. Are we getting a visual here of what it looks like? I think so. Okay. I am going to, at the end of this presentation, give you a few helpful links. One of them is a really cool video tutorial that Career Eco has put together. And then also one of our great engineering RSOs here, Engineering Expo, they are going to be hosting kind of a practice session on this Monday, September 7th, so you can get a visualization of the platform, get a feel for how it works. Again, I'm a big fan of the Career Eco video tutorial. It's only 4 minutes long, but it's going to give you some helpful hacks when it comes to standing out and making the process of talking to companies via a chat box a lot smoother. So it's worth your time. Please don't wait until the day of the career fair to get that figured out. If all you have is 5 minutes, use that 5 minutes to check out the video. And if you've got a little bit more time, make sure you drop into that session with Expo this Monday. One of the pieces of the platform that's going to be really important, and you definitely need to see it in advance, this 4th square here, create a schedule. Now, you probably have seen us promote that the career fair is going to take place from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. That is true. However, every company is creating a schedule of when their chat rooms will be open. You all have probably seen that just as students get physically a little bit tired and drained after several hours at a career fair, the same is true of the recruiters. So they may be scheduling in times to have lunch or do some other tasks for their work. You want to make sure that you're showing up in that career eco platform at the time that the companies you want to talk to are showing up. Which leads me to the last point, and one of the most important things that you need to do before you go to the career fair. Y'all, please look at the list of participating employers. Maybe pick your top 5 to 10 companies and do your homework. This is another one of those insider recruiter pieces of information. The students who usually do really well are the ones who not only have a solid resume, are able to, kind of confidently and naturally share the elevator pitch, but it's also the ones who made the time and the effort to look up information about the companies. And that is actually, for our career fairs, the #1 piece of feedback that ECS gets. The question I hear from every student is like, how do I stand out on this platform? One of the easy ways is to just demonstrate that you were interested enough to look at the company's information. In the Career Eco platform, they have a job board where many of those companies will have their openings posted. That's going to be a great way to know what types of skills these companies are looking for. And then you can tailor your elevator pitch and your resume accordingly, or at least pick the companies who are looking for skills that you currently possess, okay? We had a great question about where do you find the company's schedule. That's all going to be in the Career Eco platform. And don't worry, I'm gonna hook you up with some links before we wrap up our time today. But to keep it moving, we talked about what you need to do to prepare before the career fair. Now let's talk about what to expect on the day of the career fair. As you all probably have heard, we have 2 days, Wednesday, September 9th and Thursday, September 10th. In order to make sure that we don't crash this system, because you all know we're a large community here at the Granger College of Engineering, we really need you to attend the day that's most related to your career goals. Thumbs up, all of my people today that are looking for an internship at the career fair. Let me see you, please. Awesome. And then how many graduating seniors, whether that's December or May, will be looking for a full-time position? Okay, wow, it looks like we've got more people looking for internships, but a few full-time folks. Please remember, Wednesday equals internships, Thursday equals full-time jobs. Now, in terms of, okay, here's the thing. The system will not kick you out if you attend both days, but in this environment, nobody wants to have their time wasted. So if you choose to go to both days, we just want you to be prepared for the fact that you might not get the conversations that you're expecting, because companies have also signed up based on their needs. So if you're looking for an internship and you go on Thursday, that may work for you. It may not work for you. That's up to you, but we want to give you clear expectations. The focus on Wednesday is internships and the focus on Thursday is full-time jobs. So now I want to move on to another important point: how to look your best and be prepared visually for the career fair. Now, many of you, if you've been to a career fair before, you know that the traditional attire is business professional, i.e. a suit. You don't necessarily have to wear a suit, because for the most part, you're going to be chatting. You may not have an opportunity to be on camera that much. However, if a company spontaneously invites you to a video chat, you don't want to be in your pajamas, right? So I would encourage you, even if you don't wear the full suit, at least have on some business casual attire. Make sure that you're properly groomed. And in general, you all just think about, what do you want that recruiter to see of you? What image or what impression do you want them to have of you, and dress accordingly. Also, remember your background. Given that most of us are working remotely, and some of you I know may not even be on campus, pick a spot that's neat, that doesn't have a lot of distractions. Pick a spot where you'll be able to hear clearly and where the recruiter could hear you clearly if they invite you to a video chat. Also, it's a little bit awkward, but if you're in a video chat, remember to look into the camera and not at yourself in the little inset box, okay? It's not a guarantee that a company will instantly want to do a video chat, but I would rather you be prepared if they do, so that you don't miss out on that opportunity. Speaking of chats, the process of typing. Career Eco will allow you to participate into 2 chat rooms at a time, okay? So that's another reason why you want to look at those chat schedules very carefully, because you'll only be able to be into at the same time. You can move in and out of those 2 as frequently as you would like, but you can only have access to 2. In my opinion, as I've lived a little bit longer, my multitasking skills are overrated. And I might work on one thing and try to carry on a conversation, but I know that the conversation is going to suffer if I'm trying to divide my attention too much. I want to encourage you to assess that for your own tendencies and think about, how well are you actually going to be able to engage in that virtual conversation if you have a lot of things going on, right? One of the ways, again, that I think you'll be able to stand out is if you pay attention and really get involved in whatever that chat box entails. Read the questions that other students are entering. Feel free to respond to those questions. Think of new questions that you can add, but really treat it like a true conversation. I'm seeing a question come up in the chat that I think is important to this aspect of the conversation. The question is, will the elevator pitch likely be delivered through typing? Yes. And that's why, as a reminder, before the career fair, I strongly encourage you to type your elevator pitch out so you can check for spelling and grammar. And then each time you go into a new chat room, enter that elevator pitch and then keep the conversation going from there. One of the things that you'll see as a nice little hack in the Career Eco tutorial is that there is a place where you can request a private chat. Now, it will be up to the recruiter whether or not they want to take you up on that request, but it's something that you can certainly do. And again, I'll put the link to the tutorial in the chat box before we wrap up today. The last, well, not the last thing, but second to the last thing, access. We have found that Career Eco, like a lot of web tools, work best on Safari or Chrome. So keep in mind which web browser that you're using, and those are the 2 that we think will give you the best results. Finally, while you're at the career fair, we encourage you to put together your own application tracking system. This is pretty much a place where you can capture the names of the recruiters of the companies that you're talking to and know who you want to follow up with. Again, I tend to overestimate my ability to multitask and to remember things. So having a little Excel document, a Word document, something open where you can capture that information and keep it for later will be helpful to you. Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the answers that are coming out in the chat box. Yep, good job, Safari and Chrome. So again, just to summarize, please make sure that you attend the right day. Be ready for a video chat just in case one happens. Actively participate in the conversation. It might feel a little bit awkward, but then again, you might enjoy the experience. Remember to log in using Chrome or Safari, and then be prepared with a place where you're going to store the names of the recruiters that you're interacting with so that you can follow up with them. Speaking of following up, here's your strategy for the process after the career fair. One of the best resources that you have to follow up with the recruiters and keep in touch with them over time is LinkedIn. I always recommend that when you send someone a LinkedIn connection request, write a little message that reminds them of where you met them. This is something that I would encourage you to do if you can. I know that things are already getting busier with classes and now you've got career fair to manage, but please, if you can, make time 24 to 48 hours after the career fair, send that LinkedIn request and in the message say, hi, I enjoyed meeting you at the recent Granger College of Engineering virtual career fair. If you do it soon enough, hopefully it'll trigger the recruiter's memory and they'll appreciate the fact that you made that extra step. Another thing, typically what happens when we have an in-person career fair is that we will have multiple companies that stay on campus in the 2 days that follow and they do immediate interviews. It's not safe for us to do that anymore. And we do know that the majority of companies, whenever they do schedule their interviews, they're going to be virtual. We don't have those schedules since they're not going to be on campus with us, but some of them may have that information available in Handshake. I would encourage you to check that out, but start practicing for an interview now, okay? If a company within 24 hours decides which students they want to invite for an interview and they're ready to schedule, you don't want to have to delay your ability to say yes to an interview schedule because you still need to do a mock or you want to practice a few questions. We've got a great digital resource called Big Interview that's accessible to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It has a fantastic question bank of many of the types of things you would get asked in an interview, plus a place where you can record yourself, watch the way you answer the questions, and see where you may have some opportunities to brush things up. So it may sound counterintuitive to start preparing for an interview when you haven't even gone through the career fair, but if things move fast, you just want to make sure that you're ready. And then the final thing I really want to encourage you all, by the way, I'll have a link to Big Interview for you in the chat. You guys are on it. I really appreciate the conversations that's happening in the chat box. But the last thing, I really want to say this to keep you encouraged, keep you motivated, keep you inspired. We know that the career fair is a really big opportunity. We will have over 150 companies on each day. And I'm probably lowballing. I just want to make sure that I'm not saying something that's inaccurate. But a lot of companies will be there. So it's a great opportunity. But please keep in mind, it's not the only opportunity. Even though things are happening virtually, there are still going to be a number of tech talks, info sessions, and other places where you can interact with employers, where you can apply for jobs that meet your career interests and move your goals forward. So put your best foot forward, do the best that you can, do everything that you can to be ready to make the most out of the career fair, but set your sights more broadly and be thinking about some of the other ways that you want to connect with employers. And most of all, don't forget that your ECS advisors are here to help you hash out a customized strategy that's going to work just for you, okay? So thank you, Ashley, for hitting us up with the Big Interview links. I am going to exit out of presentation mode and get these in the chat. I'm a little bit of a long-winded person, so it took me longer to get through all of those slides than I anticipated, but we still have enough time to go through any questions. I'm gonna review the chat box real quick just to make sure we didn't miss anything that's already gone through. And in the meantime, if you have more questions, feel free to type those in. Okay, so the video that we're recording today for this session, we have well, it's not a brand new YouTube channel, but a makeover YouTube channel that we've recently relaunched. We'll have this up by the end of the week so you can take a look at it. Ashley, again, shout out. She's one of our amazing career peers. She's giving you the link to the Career Eco video tutorial. Really, really a great way to visualize what it's going to look like and start preparing. So make sure you check that out. Also, the info about the companies and the schedules, the tutorial is going to show you click by click where to find that. And it's pretty intuitive. That's the one thing I liked about Career Eco. It's a pretty intuitive site. If you click around a few times, you'll find your way. It's just make the time to get in there and move around and get familiar. I just added the link to Expo's Monday tutorial session in the chat box. I think it's going to take place at 6:30, and in the chat box is the Zoom link. So be sure to check that out. A great question. What do you research about the companies? The list that Luis added is the foundation. Their products, goods, and services, their locations, but a big one, job postings. As I mentioned, there's a job posting board in the Career Eco platform. A lot of the companies that are on the career fair list will have some jobs posted there. When you see what they're hiring for, that's going to give you an idea of maybe the direction that their business is going in. And most of all, what type of student talent they're looking for. If maybe you don't see a job for that company on the Career Eco job board, please remember to check out Handshake because some of those jobs may be posted there. And also, when you go to the company's website, look for their careers page and then see if they have a section that's just for internships or new college graduates. But the job board is, I think, a little known piece of information that students don't always add into their research. So I encourage you to check that out. And yes, these slides will all be available. Again, you can attend both days. I strongly encourage you to go to the one day that's tailored to your needs. I would hate, for example, for students looking for internships on Wednesday to get back trafficked from students who are looking for full-time jobs, and then vice versa on Thursday. So the system won't kick you out if you go to both days, but I think you'll have the best experience if you focus on the right day. We've already covered the recommended browser. Here's a great question that just came in. Do you need to pre-register to chat with the companies? No, you don't, but here's why you should pre-register. Number one, you will have an opportunity to create a profile and upload a resume. That information is available to the companies right now, okay? So even before the career fair starts, you'll make your information visible. So that's one reason why you want to go ahead and pre-register. Number two, you'll see in the video tutorial that there is a place where you can click a button that says interested to send a notification to that company, which will include a link to your resume and your profile to give them a heads up that you want to go to their chat room. How they're going to respond to that, we don't know, but in this environment, I encourage you to make the most of every opportunity. And those are things that pre-registration will allow you to do. Okay. Yep, the recording will be on YouTube in a few days, so bear with us there. Yeah, you guys are fantastic. Thank you for helping each other out. Thank you for helping me out by giving information and answers to the questions. And we did get a request for the YouTube channel. I'm gonna try to find it, but let me at least give you the name in the 1 minute that we have to spare. I know that folks have to go. I hope that this was helpful for our friends that need to move on to your next activity for the day. Again, don't forget, ECS is available for advising appointments if you want to work with someone to customize your recruiting strategy for the school year. Also, if you want to have a fresh pair of eyes to look at your resume. I know that things are busy, so don't forget about VMOC. It's the digital resume review tool that you can access at any time. But in terms of our YouTube channel, the name is going to be ECS Illinois. So the last question, so I can respect everybody's time and wrap up this recording, will advising be available for alumni? Alumni are able to access advising for 1 year after they graduate. So if you're graduating perchance in December 2020, you can still use Handshake to make an advising appointment until December 2021. Same thing with May. If you're graduating in May 2021, you can work with an ECS advisor through May 2022. But even after that advising window has expired, at the University of Illinois, you will always be family in this campus. And that means that you can always come back to the career fairs. If you have a change of circumstances at some point down the road in your career, you can always come home to Illinois and participate in a career fair. And then also you'll continue to have access to the Handshake job board. Now, keep in mind, companies use Handshake primarily to identify recent college talent. But even a year after you graduate, if you just want to see what's still out there, you can check out the Handshake job board and check us out at a future career fair. I have my fingers and my toes crossed that at some point we'll be able to be together again at the ARC in person when it's safe to do so. Until then, we believe in you all. We're already proud of you. I know I sound cheesy, but I just think you need to hear it. Believe in yourself, okay? It's gonna be a great experience. We'll learn together. And if you have any other questions, we're here when you need us, okay? I am stopping the screen share, ending the recording. Thank you guys. Get some rest this weekend if you can. And we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.